Hello everybody, welcome back to Made at Midnight, and if you watched the last episode, you will have seen that using this exact same comp I was able to take out a base without using any spells. However, this comp has one slight difference. It is the Fireball version. We do not have the Eternal Tome on the Warden this time. We have a Fireball because we need to set up pathing for an AQ charge. And that is the big difference between the two comps. With the Eternal Tome, you can pop your AQ ability with Magic Mirror in the core, use the Giant, Eternal Tome, all the clones, and the Giant, and absolutely wreck the core. But that requires a base with excellent AQ pathing. So this base, we have some outside defenses. We're going to use some Yetis to chew through the first defense, then die and have the Yeti spring forward, clear the next defense. Was able to take out the air defense and the mortar in this right hand corner, so now I can direct target the Expo to create excellent value from the Flame Flinger. So now I have the Warden, Angry Jelly on the Warden. I want to clear out as many defenses between the Warden and where I want the Fireball to land, so I can hopefully use as few spells as possible. Sending in an Ice Golem to deal with this multi-gear tower. Got some Skelly Traps, Poison, slowing up the Warden. Finally gets through the tower, dealing with these skellies, and the ice golems are here to stall up and prevent defenses from forcing spells, so we can use our spells, invisibility spells, on our RC or AQ later on in the raid. And this strat is all about hero equipment synergy. We have the Rage Vial on the Warden, and in this strat you want to meet up the AQ with the Warden. You want the healers to transfer to the AQ, you want the Warden Rage Vial over top of the healers, powering and healing the AQ, and then you also want to meet up the BK with the AQ and Warden so that the BK can open up walls and tank for the AQ, and then you just wrap the RC around the outside. So take out the Monolith, launch the Fireball, eliminate the core, specifically the Fire Spitter that was facing to the right, so now I don't have to worry about the Fire Spitter targeting the Queen. And huge mistake, this raid ends up to work out, but huge mistake was I was not able to pull the Warden to the right. Warden was supposed to go to the right with the AQ and bring the healers to the right, so the healers would not be in danger of this Fire Spitter. Notice how this AQ is coming in behind the remaining Fire Spitter. So now, since the Warden has just over half the hit points than the AQ, I have to invest all these spells on the Warden. A lot of times the AQ, with her higher hit points, she can withstand a lot more damage. You can get away without using a lot of spells on her when she's powered by the Warden Rage Vial. So now I have the RC up top, just kind of making it up as I go here. Going to take out this Town Hall, and notice this Ricochet Cannon. Ricochet Cannons are absolutely worth an Ice Golem to freeze up. Any comp you run, if you can swap out, if you're doing a Root Rider attack, you can swap out 3 Super Barbs, drop an Ice Golem right next to an outside Ricochet Cannon. Highly worth it. So now all the heroes are converging. Everything's done. Sloppy attack, but it happened to work. So alright, here we have Headshots. He's coming in with a Warden Rocket Loon attack. And in the Warden Rocket Loon attack, the big difference between this attack and the last attack is you mean most of the times to keep your AQ and BK separate from your Warden. So your Warden can push through the base and your AQ and BK can work on the other side of the base. So he's coming in, he's got the Angry Jelly, eliminating as many defenses between him and where the Fireball is supposed to go as possible. And he's going to hit this multi-archer tower right here below the clan castle. And in doing so, he's going to take out the lower 2/3 of that inside compartment. So now he's got pathing for the Fireball, launches the Fireball, takes out the entire 2/3 of the core, immediately drops an Invis, recognizing that he's encountering enemy heroes and 2 raged Expos. This is one heck of a gamble as far as pulling off a Fireball. Really hard to keep your Warden alive. As I said before in the first attack, the Warden requires a lot more spell investment than an AQ if you were to do an AQ charge, because the Warden has just over half the hit points of an AQ and he does just over half the damage, so it takes him a while to chew through defenses, takes him rather quickly to fall down. So excellent job by Headshots to keep that Warden alive. That was a dangerous compartment. So now he's got the Skeleton Trap distracting this Ricochet Cannon. Ricochet Cannon's one of the most deadly defenses. Ricochet cannons along with fire spitters, I would say one of the most deadly defenses in the game. Sending in some druids to heal up his AQ. However, he does not do this anymore. He says that the druids are not worth it. He likes to bring the extra rocket loons. This ice golem reaches all the way up to the remaining fire spitter. He's got Warden going strong on the bottom side of where he fireballed, and he has the AQ going strong on the top side. Created excellent pathing to get excellent hero value, excellent base recognition, and this is how you want to do a fireball attack. AQ to ability, freezes up Town Hall, swags RC, could have swagged a bunch of rocket loons, swags a rage, headshots, absolute monster. So make sure to like and subscribe, because headshots is always on this channel. And the great thing about these war recaps is base identification, so you can figure out what bases are best to do a rocket fireball strat. So here we got Boomer coming in with some Yeti clone blimp, managed to take out one air sweeper with a giant arrow. However, the remaining air sweeper, the most troublesome air sweeper, is left alive. Blimp comes flying through, Eternal Tome, drops his Yetis. He dropped his blimp, popped his blimp before the air sweeper shot got to it, so that was excellent recognition of the air sweeper. Able to Yeti clone ahead, takes out the Town Hall, and now he's got these nice little channels in the middle, keeps his dregs clumped up. Some on the top side, a few on the bottom side. He's got his RC out in front of his AQ, hoping that they work together. Clearing out the top part of the base, large swarm. RC has ability, goes to ability, clips some of these Teslas, outranging the multi-archer tower. Now dealing with the BK, but the nice thing about having the AQ and the RC together is they can deal with him together. Base is absolutely wrecked. Freezes up the remaining enemy hero. Awesome hit to Boomer. And if you're looking for a quick, safe, and high reliability 3-star strat, this is definitely the one, especially for CWL June season. Clears the remaining storages. Nice hit, Boomer. Alright, so here we have Wick coming in with super drags, and he's running the exact same equipment as what Boomer did. The big difference between these super drags and the regular drags is he is not bringing a blimp, he's bringing the flame flinger, and he wants to create pathing for his super drags to push them into a section of the base and just let them rip right through the base. You'll see he's got 4 rages, 5 freeze. And these super drags are really fast, so you can allow your flame flinger to go for 30, 45, even a minute into the raid before you deploy them. Got 2 archers dealing with this building over here on the right. Slowly getting repaired by the builder hut. Kind of fun to see that. Notice there's 2 sweepers in the middle. Wondering where he's going to deploy his queen to take them out. And I'm wondering what side. Baby drag on the right, so I'm guessing he's going to come from the left with his super drags. Yep, from the left with the super drags. AQ, giant arrow, takes out both sweepers, and now his super drags, when they're eternal tomed and raged, they will not have that second delay of the air sweeper pushing them back from their intended targets. So now he'll get the most value out of the eternal tome, most time value, and most rage value out of his super drags as possible. So he's just ripping through the core of the base. Dark orb that manages to clip every building in the core all the way and even reaches the town hall. AQ's wrapping around here at the bottom. Steps up, is actually going to take out this fire spitter here. Freezes the expo. Keeps the AQ alive for a little bit longer. BK out in front tanking for the AQ. And he's got Snake Bracelet on the BK to help distract further for the AQ. Look at how many super drags he's got left. He's got AQ healthy. He's got BK about to die, finally. And just an absolutely overkill hit. Really awesome hit by Wick. It's really fun to watch these super drag attacks too, especially like the 30 to 40 seconds invested in the setup to then just come ripping through the base at the end. So here we have a giant arrow, ZAP, fireball, ice golem, AQ charge strat. And much like the first replay in this video, this is the exact same thing. We're going to fireball this bottom compartment, and then we're going to drop in the AQ, for the AQ to benefit from the Warden Rage Vial and then power through the rest of the base. Big difference here is the AQ is going to go to ability almost immediately. Alright, so complete fail with his invisibility spell, have to drop 2. Managed to take out this entire compartment. Happy that went well. And now we're going to zap out the monolith and the invisibility spell tower in the core for when we approach there later. Zaps in on the monolith. And most importantly, Warden comes over to power up the AQ. Big difference between this and the first replay was that AQ did not go to ability right away in the first replay. So now the AQ in this attack is more susceptible to dying because we no longer have AQ ability to do Magic Mirror and Giant, and we also do not have an Eternal Tome on the Warden to protect the AQ. So we just have to be careful, watch her, and if she encounters too many problems, we just drop an invis. So sending in these Ice Golems to tank, and the Ice Golems are acting like spells. They're better than free spells by a mile, and they basically act like invis spells. Sending in a Lavaloon to help test. BK with the EQ boots. You always want to meet your BK up with your AQ and Warden. Big problem here is this Fire Spitter that's facing the AQ, and you can see just how much damage this Fire Spitter can cause. I wanted to take out the Fire Spitter with my Giant Arrow zap, but I managed to miss the Giant Arrow, so had to just take the Monolith. So now the AQ's working through. Warden's about to die. And you can see how the Warden was working over and trying to support the RC. Sometimes you can get great synergy with the RC, AQ, all under the Warden Rage Vial, which is ideal. So now RC is just working through. Ice Golems to distract. Send in some Lavaloons. You see we got plenty of Ice Golems. Base completely wrecked. Especially for the spell investment in the beginning. So yeah, make sure when you see some fun bases like this to use a very fun strat. This game's all about fun after all. So here we have STXL using the Yeti Clone Blimp again. Got 4 Dragon Riders, Owl on the Warden. He likes the Owl on the Warden because the Owl can help kill enemy heroes, whereas the Sneezy can't. The projectiles can, however, distract enemy heroes. He told me that if he were to use an entire dragon army, he would feel more obliged to use the Sneezy, since he'd have more dragons to target enemy heroes. But with the 4 Dragon Riders that only target defenses and bypass the enemy heroes, he likes to bring the Owl to support them. Yeti Clone Blimp right in the middle, destroys the core. Now he's got 2 channels, one on the left, one on the right, for his dragons, and his AQ just to work through the base. He's got an invisibility spell and a freeze. Often he uses them to support his AQ or his RC. Now he's got RC working at the bottom, and you notice that multi-archer tower and the ricochet cannon range. So he uses the rocket spear ability when he can outrange them with his RC. Now he doesn't have to use a freeze spell or an invisibility spell to protect his RC. And you always want to do that. Plan ahead where you plan to use your RC and check out the radius and the reach and the range of the multi-archer tower and the ricochet cannon, because those are very deadly. Especially the ricochet cannon will shoot your RC and kill your Spirit Fox right away. Does a little bit of celebratory swag. Awesome hit to STXL. Here we have Lobo with some Root Riders, and he's going to bring his RC in here from about 10 o'clock and work to create some funneling for his Root Riders. Doing the standard Spirit Walk. Sup takes this multi-Inferno Tower. And it seems like a lot of these anti-Root Rider bases are running poison spells. Makes RC invisible again. Takes this poison spell tower. Recalls. Uses a Super Barb to create some pathing at 9. And now he's going to also create a funnel down here at 6. And then send his Root Riders in behind the Fire Spitter. You always want to go in from behind a Fire Spitter if you can. So creating a nice funnel down here with the AQ. Got Frosty to help freeze up some of these defenses. Ice Golem perfect on that ricochet cannon. Ricochet cannons are a huge pain, so definitely if you see an outside ricochet cannon, make sure to select that as your ice golem target. Goes to Eternal Tome and Healing Tome, and the cool thing about the Eternal Tome, it's also protecting these balloons to test for traps for his healers. Got some super barbs, creating pathing over here at 3 and a wall breaker so that his AQ can push in from this 3 o'clock compartment. So that was a really nice call. And important, overgrowth the remaining fire spitter. Fire spitters are horrible for your healers. You want to go in from behind a fire spitter and then overgrowth the remaining fire spitter. So now he's got his RC. Everything's caught in a tornado trap. That's actually good. So his rest of his army could catch up with the RC, so the RC didn't push out ahead too far. Overgrowth wears off, BK ability, one-shots the fire spitter. Base is absolutely crushed. Really like the plan, especially the wall break in at 3 for his heroes to meet up with the Root Riders and then path through into the Town Hall compartment. So excellent hit, really fun to see. Just got this multi-archer tower left. Notice this Giant at full health. Giant's like a second BK, really amazing for tanking. Diggy is still alive. So guys, level up your Giants because it is a game changer for sure. Here we have Pim Bap, and he's coming in with another Root Rider attack. Creating some pathing over here at 9. Doing the Spirit Walk as well. Encounters a Giant Bomb. Only one though. Spirit Fox still alive and well. Pushing up towards this Poison Spell Tower compartment. And getting close to the Fire Spitter compartment. Another Invis. RC comes to the Fire Spitter. Recalls. Manages to get one shot on this Fire Spitter, but there's a Builder Hut repairing. Uses Giant Arrow to soften up some of these defenses down here at 6. And he's doing exactly what Lobo did. He's trying to send in his Root Riders behind the Fire Spitters. So he is taking some damage from one Fire Spitter over here at the right. But with the Fire Spitters close together, he's able to Eternal Tome, protect all his troops, especially his healers, and take out these Fire Spitters right away. You always want to overgrowth, typically on the opposite side of where your AQ is, so your Root Riders stay close to your AQ to help tank for your AQ. And this is a best practices hero troop synergy for Root Riders. It allows AQ to keep cleaning up trash and keeps the RRs and specifically, most importantly, the Valks in behind the Root Riders, because the Root Riders really don't do too much damage themselves. So I was just working through this base, still has AQ keeping most of the troops on the inside. Freeze for the multi-archer tower and the monolith. Last 2 somewhat difficult remaining defenses. Base absolutely crushed. Awesome hit to Pim Bap. Notice the Phoenix on the Minion Prince. Absolutely OP combination. And the Phoenix out in front testing for air traps for his healers. Awesome hit again. Thanks for watching guys, and catch you next time.